Section 1.3 Problem Solving. This section we have objective to solve problems using organization of the four-step problem solving process, which is called the Polya four steps in problem solving. Those four steps are: the first one, understand the problem. We can have um, Section 1.3 Problem Solving. This section, we have an objective to solve problems using the organization of the four-step problem solving process, which is called the Polya's four steps in problem solving. These four steps are: the first one, understand the problem. We have to read and write down what is given, what requires to find for step number one to understand the problem. In step number two, make a plan to solve the problem. There are many ways or many plans depending on the problem or the situation. It could be the case that we use inductive reasoning to look for a pattern. We could make a systematic list or table. We could use estimation to make an educated guess at the solution. We could try expressing the problem more simply and solve similarly simpler problem. Also, we could use try and error, make a list of the given information in the chart or the table form. Try making a sketch or a diagram to illustrate the problem or related the problem to similar problems seen before. We could also use the given information to eliminate the possibility and also use the common sense. In step 3, once we know the plan, carry out the plan and solve the problem. This part would be the calculation part for our case. Step 4, or the last step, look back and check the answer. The answer should satisfy the conditions of the pattern of the problem, and the answer should make sense and reasonable. If this is not the case, recheck the method at and any calculations. Perhaps there is an alternative way to arrive at a correct solution. Let's see examples. For this case, we're going to find what is missing in the problem. For example 1, a man purchased 5 shirts, each at the same discount price. How much did he pay for them? The question is, how much did he pay for them? The part that is missing would be the discount price of each shirt. Otherwise, we would not know how to calculate and how much we have to pay. Next example. If a student saves $48 per week, how long will it take to save enough money to buy a computer? What necessary piece of information is missing that prevents solving the problem? For this case, the problem asks about how long will it take to save enough money to buy a computer, where we don't know the price of the computer. So then the missing part would be the computer cost or the price of the computer. For the next examples, we're going to find what is unnecessary. Example 1. A roll of easy white paper towels contain 100 sheets and costs $1.38. A comparable brand, Quick Clean, contains 5,000 sheets per roll and costs $1.23. If you need 3 rolls of paper towels, which brand is the better value? The question asks for which brand is better value. The one that is not necessary information would be the number of the rows at 3 rows. So we can say that 3 row is not relevant to the problem. The second example, a salesperson received a weekly salary of $350. In addition, $15 is paid for every item sold in excess of 200 items. How much extra is received from the sale of 220 items? Which piece of information is not necessary to solve the problem? The problem asks for how much extra is received from the sale of 220 items. So the part that is not necessary to compute the extra quantity would be the weekly salary of this salesperson. Next, we're going to apply the first step in problem solving process to the problem. This example, by paying $100 cash upfront and the balance at $20 a week, how long will it take to pay for a bicycle costing $680? Step number one, we have to understand the problem. To understand the problem, we read and write down information that we know. After we read the problem, the given information from the problem would be the cost of the bicycle. So the cost would be $680, and the amount paid in cash or the cash upfront would be $100, and the weekly payment is $20 or $20 per week. What we have to find? We have to find how long. So this part is given info. And then the one that we have to find or unknown would be how long will it take to pay the bicycle costing of $680. So how long does it take to pay off? Step two, we're going to make a plan to solve the problem. So the question is how long does it take? That means we're going to find out the quantity in weeks that we going to finish off the balance. So from the problem, the number of the weeks would be from the balance divided by 20, which is the weekly payment or the $20 per week. The question is, what is the balance? So to compute, which is in step number 3, the balance, so the cost of the bicycle is $680. Pay $100 cash upfront. So then the total, that would be 580 and then divided by $20 per week. Now our calculation is 580 divided by 20, and that turns out to be 29, and the unit is in weeks. That means it takes 29 weeks to pay off the bicycle. Step number 4, we're going to check the result. To check the result, let's see if the weekly payment is $20. We paid for 29 weeks. Multiply these two numbers, we get 580. We add $100 for the cash that we paid upfront, and it becomes the sum of $680, which is the cost of the bicycle. So checked.